What if God came to you and said, I'm going to give you one request, and whatever you ask of me, I'm going to do? What would you ask for? What would you say, God, this is what I want more than anything else in the world? What would you ask him for? You say, man, Bob, you're living in a world of hypothetical. God doesn't do that. He never does that kind of a thing. He's got restrictions and he's got plans, and we're supposed to be living according to his purpose. So he doesn't do that. Well, he has done it in the past, and there's one specific time in history that I'm thinking about right now, and he did it for one person. That person's name was Solomon. God came to Solomon and he said, Solomon, all right, you've got one request, and whatever you ask for, I'm going to give it to you. But just one time, no restrictions. What do you want? And what Solomon asked for surprises me to no end, because I don't think it would have been my initial reaction. You know what he asked for? God said, Solomon, what do you want more than anything in the world? And Solomon said, God, I want wisdom. Wisdom? Really? You want wisdom? Yes, wisdom. And God gave it to him. But you know what else? He said, all right, now that I've given you wisdom, and now that that's what you asked for, I'm going to give you everything else that you've ever dreamed about, everything else that you've ever thought about. And as we know, that Solomon is now considered one of the wealthiest men in history at that time, a man who built Solomon's temple, but also is considered to be the wisest man in the Bible and perhaps one of the wisest people in history. So much so that even today, people who are unchurched, or people who don't even read the Bible, or people who aren't followers of Jesus or followers of Judaism in the Old Testament, they literally will say when they got to make a tough decision, you know what? This upcoming decision, man, I need the wisdom of Solomon. Why would Solomon ask for wisdom? Well, because he saw so many of his forefathers that didn't have wisdom. And wisdom was really the key for him to be able to handle riches, for him to be able to be a leader, for him to be able to be the right man that he needed to be. More than anything else, he needed wisdom. He needed the skill in living, the skill to apply the truth that he needed. He needed to be skillful in how he lived, how he worked, and how he led. Wisdom, such an important thing, but sometimes we kind of pass it off to the wayside. We put it away and we don't really think about it. We don't think about wisdom. We're moving so fast in our society that we don't stop and think about the best way to handle things. Well, we're going to talk about wisdom tomorrow, March 17th at Community Bible Church at 10:30 a.m. I've been in a series called Real Living, or Get Real rather, and we're talking about real living in this series called Get Real. And we've been in the book of James. James has told us and taught us so many different things, from how to handle temptation and trials, how to use our words. But tomorrow we're going to look at this all important topic of wisdom. I'm calling it How to Live Wise in an Unwise World. There is no doubt, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, that there is such a lack of wisdom in how people handle things today. Right now, as I am recording this, there is a massive scandal going on across the United States in which parents have paid for their kids to be cheated to get into school. What I mean by that is that they literally paid for scholarships, paid for people to lie about their children to get scholarships, paid for people to take tests for their children so that they could get in some higher end schools because the kids weren't capable of getting in themselves. It has had a massive amount of fallout for some of these people that have actually taken this action, as well it should. It's totally unwise. And sometimes, have you ever looked at people like that and you go, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? Well, obviously they weren't. But that can be said of so many of us in the decisions that we make in life. So often, the decisions we make as parents, the decisions we make as leaders, the decisions that we make in our business, the decision we make as entrepreneurs, the decisions that we make in our marriages, the decisions we make in all of our relationships. Wisdom is key to everything. So tomorrow at Community Bible Church, we're going to look at what does it really mean to live wise in an unwise world. When we are surrounded with people that don't have skill in living, tomorrow we're going to look at exactly how you and I can have that and doing it God's way. Because the thing is that we got to be like Solomon and ask God for wisdom. And when we start to apply that wisdom, our lives will start to change so that we can become all that God wants us to be and accomplish the purpose that he has for us in this world. So until tomorrow, Community Bible Church, 10:30 a.m., located at the corner of Griffin Road and Southwest 30th Avenue. We're going to be talking about wisdom tomorrow. We're going to be talking about how to live wise in an unwise world. So come, have the wisdom to set your clock, set your alarm, get up, get to Community Bible Church, and spend some time with us tomorrow, 10:30 to 11:30. Community Bible Church, live wise in an unwise world. We'll see you tomorrow.